It began with a whisper, a small headline tucked between celebrity gossip and movie updates. At first, no one wanted to believe it, but within hours, that whisper turned into a wave of heartbreak that swept through the Outlander fandom and beyond. Sam Heughan confirms Caitriona Balfe's worsening health battle. The words didn't feel real. They couldn't be. For years, Caitríona had been the embodiment of strength, graceful, radiant, unstoppable. On screen, she had carried the heart of Outlander as Claire Fraser, and off-screen, she was the grounding force that kept the cast like a family. To imagine her struggling with illness, it broke something in everyone who loved her. Sam's confirmation came quietly, not through a press release, not through a tabloid scoop, but in the soft-spoken honesty of a man who was clearly hurting. During a recent interview, when asked about Caitríona, he paused for a long time. His usual confidence faded, his voice lowered. "Things have been difficult for her lately," he said finally. "She's fighting hard, but it's been tough." That was all it took. Within minutes, fans across the world flooded social media. Hashtags like #PrayForCaitríona, #StayStrongSam, and #OutlanderFamily Forever started trending. Messages poured in from every continent, words of love, hope, and disbelief. "Not Caitríona," one fan wrote. "She's always been the strong one. Please let her be okay." But behind that wave of digital emotion, there was something deeper happening. For Sam, this wasn't a statement to the press. It was personal. Those who had been with him that day said he seemed distracted long before the interview began, pacing quietly, rereading notes, staring off as if his thoughts were miles away. When Caitríona's name came up, the mask slipped. His hands tightened, his eyes glistened. It wasn't just concern, it was pain. The two of them had shared nearly a decade of their lives working side by side. They had laughed through long shoots in the cold Scottish rain, held each other through emotional scenes, and defended one another when rumors tried to twist their friendship into something it wasn't. Sam had often said that Caitríona wasn't just a co-star, she was his confidant, his safe place. That's why this revelation hit so hard. Insiders say Sam had known about Caitríona's health struggles for some time but had kept it private, respecting her wish for silence. He didn't want to speak without her consent, one close friend shared. But things recently changed. He felt the world needed to understand why she'd been away, and why she needed love more than speculation. And so he did the hardest thing anyone could do. He confirmed the truth, knowing it would break hearts, including his own. The reaction was immediate and overwhelming. International media picked up the story within hours. Outlander fan pages transformed into spaces of collective prayer and reflection. Even fellow actors from the series shared supportive posts, each expressing how much Caitríona meant to them, not just as a colleague but as a human being. Still, Sam stayed mostly silent after that one interview. He didn't elaborate, didn't feed the media frenzy. But his next move said everything. On Instagram, he posted a single photo, a candle burning against a dark background, with the caption, "For those fighting battles we cannot see." No hashtags, no tags, just that. It broke the internet. Fans flooded the comments with messages of solidarity. "We're with you. Stay strong, Sam." Sending love to Caitríona. The flame in the picture became a symbol. Hope burning quietly in the dark. Meanwhile, Caitríona herself hadn't appeared publicly in weeks. Her team released a short note thanking everyone for their kindness and asking for privacy. It was short, polite, but you could read between the lines. This was serious. Inside the Outlander set, the mood was heavy. Crew members described Sam as focused but quieter than usual. He showed up early, stayed late, worked harder than ever, as if throwing himself into the job was the only way to keep from breaking down. "He's trying to stay strong for her," one crew member said softly. "You can see it in his eyes, he's scared." Fans began revisiting old interviews, rewatching scenes between Sam and Caitríona, pointing out the way they'd always looked at each other, with genuine affection and respect. Now, every glance, every touch seemed heavier, carrying memories that could make anyone cry. And as the world watched and waited, one question lingered. How bad was it really? What was Sam not saying? Because if his voice trembled that much just mentioning her, what he knew must have been far worse than anyone dared to imagine. He had always been her biggest supporter, her strength, her family away from home. And now, the man who had once stood tall beside her in every battle was facing one he couldn't fight for her, only with her. And what he revealed next would change how the world saw them both forever. When Sam finally broke his silence, the world listened, but what he said next wasn't just heartbreaking, it was raw, vulnerable, and deeply human. It's been hard watching someone you care about go through something you can't fix, he said in a soft, trembling voice during a charity livestream. You feel helpless, you just hope your presence, even from a distance, brings them some comfort. Those words shattered the internet, not because they were dramatic, but because they were real. For the first time, the mask of fame slipped completely. This wasn't Sam Heughan, the charming actor or the stoic hero. This was a friend terrified of losing someone who had become part of his soul. Behind the scenes, Sam had been doing everything he could to stay connected with Caitríona. He called her every evening after filming, sometimes just to sit in silence on the line. He sent her small gifts, her favorite tea, handwritten notes, books they used to talk about between scenes. One of them reads simply, "Even in the darkest places, your light remains." Friends close to them said that Caitríona never asked for pity. She didn't want people to see her as fragile. She kept telling everyone, "I'm fine," even on the worst days, one source revealed. But Sam could always tell when she wasn't. Her illness had worsened, and treatments had become more frequent. Yet somehow, Caitríona's strength only grew. She continued to support causes she cared about, sending messages to charities and even recording a short video thanking fans for their kindness. In that clip, she smiled, weakly, but sincerely, and said, "You all remind me that love is the best medicine." When Sam saw it, he reportedly broke down in tears. It was during this time that he decided to channel his pain into purpose. He announced a partnership between My Peak Challenge and a health foundation dedicated to research and patient care. He didn't mention Caitríona by name, but everyone knew. "There are people out there fighting every single day," he said. "If you can help them fight, do it." The impact was immediate. Fans around the world joined in, raising thousands in just days. They shared stories of loved ones who had fought similar battles, filling timelines with hope instead of sorrow. Hashtags like #for Caitríona and #keep fighting spread across every platform. Through it all, Sam remained grounded. He never turned Caitríona's pain into publicity. He simply honored her courage through quiet action. That's who he was. And then, one night, a photo surfaced that made everyone stop scrolling. It wasn't from a red carpet or a set. It was taken by a passerby in Glasgow. Sam and Caitríona walking together. No makeup, no cameras, no fanfare. Just two friends side by side, her hand resting on his arm as they smiled faintly under the streetlights. The caption read, "They're still standing." That image spread faster than any rumor ever had. It wasn't the picture of two stars. It was the image of two souls who had weathered the storm and refused to let go of each other. Shortly after, Caitríona released a statement, short, elegant, and filled with gratitude. "Healing takes time," she wrote. "But love, friendship, and kindness make the road a little easier. Thank you, Sam, and thank you to everyone who's been part of this journey." Her words echoed across the fandom. And for the first time in months, the atmosphere shifted from fear to hope. When Sam was later asked how she was doing, he smiled, a real smile this time, and said, "She's stronger than anyone gives her credit for. I've never been prouder of her." It was a line that captured everything: heartbreak, admiration, relief, and love, all in one breath. In the months that followed, Caitríona slowly returned to public life. Her steps were measured, her voice a little softer, but her presence was radiant again. And whenever Sam was asked about their bond, his answer was always the same: "She's family." Maybe that's what this entire story had been about: not illness, not tragedy, but love in its purest form. The kind that doesn't fade when times get hard. The kind that doesn't need grand gestures, only quiet loyalty. And as fans watched their reunion, two people walking together through the storm, they realized something profound. Strength isn't always about fighting loudly. Sometimes, it's about standing silently beside someone and refusing to leave. Caitriona's battle wasn't over, but she wasn't alone. And Sam's tears, once born of fear, had turned into something else, faith. Because sometimes, love doesn't save you from pain. It gives you the courage to face it.